Closing in Libreville of the training workshop on international investment treaties and agreements, the objective of which was to build the capacities of managers of various administrations involved in this field. The internationally renowned American star Samuel Leroy Jackson is in Gabon. He was welcomed by the Gabonese Minister of Environment. This is a first visit for the actor, who decided to return to his Gabonese and African origins. Prior to the country's Independence Day celebration at 59, Benin is yet to organize the Independence Fair scheduled for this Tuesday, July 23rd, by the Minister of Industry and Trade, Serge Ahioussou, at Friendship Stadium named after General Mathieu Kérékou in Cotonou. That's all for our top stories today. Stay tuned for more details in this newscast. The Deputy Minister of Investment Promotion, Françoise Assenghone-Obam, launched on July 23, 2019 at the National Agency for the Promotion of Investment, the training workshop on international investment treaties and agreements. But 3 days were good enough for the participants of this workshop to perfect their knowledge on the good practices in preparation for the negotiation of investment treaties. The aim is to stimulate national reflection on the Gabonese policy of negotiating investment treaties in line with Gabon's Sustainable Development Goals. The goal here is to truly understand the issues and train those who are responsible for negotiating these agreements to really be careful in agreeing and negotiating provisions that protect and take into account the interest of the host country when it wants to implement this sustainable development policy, said Dr. Suzy Nikiema. According to the experts, to consider the risks existing around these partnerships is a necessity for a state such as Gabon. Public-private partnerships are a necessary part of the government's economic recovery strategy. At the end of this workshop, a strategic roadmap for the management of contract treaties was developed as a proposal to the government. The internationally renowned American star Samuel Leroy Jackson has indeed set his foot on Gabonese soil for the first time. Upon his arrival in Libreville, the actor was welcomed by the Gabonese Minister of the Environment, who expresses his pride and joy and says how important is such a visit for the country.
Samuel Jackson has come to Gabon, I think, for several reasons.
Okay.
He doesn't really know Africa.
Okay.
He discovered when he did his DNA test a few years ago that some of his ancestors are from Gabon. He's of a Benga origin. So in a way, he's coming back to his origins. He's coming back to discover Africa. But he's also coming to make a film. He's making a series for television on the slave trade, the impacts of the slave trade. And what they've done, they've been very clever. They've found wrecks of boats, ships that took slaves from Africa to the New World. And they found one boat that had come from Gabon. And so they had some divers that went down onto the boat, and now they're coming back to the shores of Gabon to see where that boat came from. And he's going to go down to Luango National Park and see the comptoir, see the area where the slaves were put onto boats and sent away. Him to the national parks. I will be guiding him in Luango National Park. And we've been doing a lot of cultural work, a lot of archaeological work. And so we're going to show him where we've discovered the old artifacts of the slave trade and the Iron Age archaeological sites. So I'll be guiding him during the national park part, and then Minister Ogandaga will take over for the cultural part on Monday and Tuesday with the Benga.
The minister describes the government's perspective in promoting Gabon internationally as top tourism destination in the future.
I think we're seeing more and more interest from Hollywood. A couple of years ago we had Warner Brothers that came and filmed Tarzan. Now we have this crew coming, so more and more crews are coming. Gabon is starting to have the reputation as a country which is peaceful, stable, welcoming, with beautiful landscapes where you can actually make films. So on that, also obviously it's going to put Gabon onto the international scene. So in terms of our tourism promotion and so on, we have to get our name out there. We need name recognition. If people don't know where Gabon is, they don't know we exist,
Definitely.
they can't come.
Definitely.
As people start to hear about Gabon on National Geographic, and then Samuel Jackson is here, and then Jimon Hunsu is here, they start to think, well, maybe I should go. So I think it's very positive for promoting Gabon and for bringing tourism into Gabon. The President has for developing tourism here. It's business tourism, it's events-based tourism, so the football tournaments, the bicycle races, this sort of thing. And then it's ecotourism. So we have 3 pillars for development of tourism, one of which is really focusing on bringing events into Gabon.
This return to the roots by the Hollywood icon in Gabon is part of the shooting of an episode entitled Origins of a documentary film Enslaved, the slave trade as told from the ocean floor, tracing the transatlantic slave trade through the study of historic shipwrecks and the stay with the Benga people to whom it is genetically affiliated. Benin is open to the public through the 2019 Independence Fair. This is a unique trade event that mobilizes exhibitors from Benin and from several countries of the continent and elsewhere as part of the celebration of the 59th anniversary of the country's independence. The objective of this fair is to contribute to Benin's economic growth by improving the business environment, which is one of the fundamental pillars of the government's agenda for action. The 12th edition of the event offers an attractive setting for discoveries, opportunities, demonstrations, sales and promotion of various products. The 2019 edition will make it possible to discover Benin and its products. It offers exhibitors visibility through their stands. During the fair, the public will discover a wide range of food products, cosmetics, kitchen utensils, furniture, fabrics, shoes, and various other accessories, as well as offers and services from microfinance, health, to mention a few. 2020 will therefore be the edition of the great innovations as promised by the Minister of Industry and Trade, as the Independence Fair will take on a more impressive look while satisfying a broader target. The 2019 Independence Exhibition will end on September 4th. And just a few hours after the death of President Béji Caïd Essebsi, the president of the parliament was sworn in and becomes the interim president of Tunisia. The man was born on 21st March 1934 in El Jem. Mohamed El Nasser is the one who will act as the Tunisian president. A Tunisian diplomat and statesman, he was twice Minister of Social Affairs under President Habib Bourguiba in Noura and Mzali governments. After the 2011 revolution, he took office again between January and December the same year in the National Unity Government of Mohamed Ghannouchi and then in that of Béji Caïd Essebsi. In 2014, he was elected president of the new Assembly of People's Representatives. According to the constitution, he can act for 45 to 90 days. The presidential election in Tunisia, originally scheduled for 17th November, will also be anticipated. I appeal to the Tunisian people to fuse together in order to continue the march towards further development and meet the expectations of the people, the interim president said on national television. The conditions for running for the elections were amended in June by the parliament, but the draft law had not been promulgated by the head of state. The prime minister has declared 7 days of national mourning and has announced the cancellation of cultural performances and festivals. The interim Tunisian president embodies the continuity of the late head of state Béji Caïd Essebsi, with whom he was close. And Nasser is also the founder of El Jem Festival, his hometown on the East Coast, which annually hosts concerts by renowned artists in an amphitheater dating back to ancient Roman times.
We are the party of the many, we are the party of the many, and they are the party of the few.
In his speech before members of the English Parliament for the first time as head of the British government, Boris Johnson urges the European Union to reconsider his current refusal to amend the withdrawal agreement while unequivocally guaranteeing the rights of the European Union nationals living in the United Kingdom.
I would prefer us to leave the EU with a deal. I would much prefer it. I believe that it is possible even at this late stage, and I will work flat out to make it happen.
To honor the promise made to the British people, the head of government said he was ready to leave the European Union without agreement in October, but hopes that the institution will agree to review the terms of the agreement before that date.
For our part, we will throw ourselves into these negotiations with the greatest energy and determination and in a spirit of friendship. And I hope that the EU will be equally ready and that they will rethink their current refusal to make any changes to the withdrawal agreement.
A no-deal Brexit remains something the British are reluctant about, despite their desire to quit the European Union. Rarely will a summer meeting have been surrounded by such suspense distilled by the monetary institution itself against an economic picture made up of languishing inflation, sluggish growth, and persistent trade tensions. The European Central Bank President Mario Draghi made several proactive speeches in June and mentioned a possible fall in rates among a lot of additional stimulus measures possible, unless good surprises illuminate the economic environment. But nothing like this has happened, and for investors, the case is heard. The next move of the institute will be to lower the cost of credit left since March 2016 to its historic low, and not to bring it up as expected a few months ago. Only the Board of Governors of the Monetary Institute should lead this Thursday a final discussion before starting. The markets anticipate that the institute will lower its deposit rate, which is now used as a benchmark on the market, to 0.50% from 0.40% today at its meeting on 12th September. Some experts say. Some observers believe that the ECB will wait for its new set of economic forecasts in September before unveiling everything at all once. A fall in interest rate and a resumption of net debt redemptions closed at the end of 2018 after having raised 2,600 billion euros in private and public bonds since 2015. The Dijon Football Côte d'Or holds its third newest edition after midfielder Brian Soumaré and Guinea-Bissau striker Mama Baldé. The Gabonese international Bruno Ikwelemanga has also joined Dijon FC Côte d'Or. At 31 years old, Bruno Ikwelemanga is a key player of Panthers of Gabon with 72 matches played and 8 goals. Newly recruited, he is a quality defender for Dijon. Ikwelemanga has signed a 3-year contract with a new club. The former Bordeaux and Lorient player, he had been playing since 2014 with the Welsh club of Cardiff City, relegated to the English Championship last May. Ikwelemanga is a valuable reinforcement in central defense for Dijon. Trained at the Girondins de Bordeaux, the Gabonese gave a great performance at Lorient under Christian Gourcuff. In 2014, after more than 110 matches in the French First League, he decided to go abroad to Cardiff Club in England. Bruno Ikwelemanga, who has become a real jailbird for the Welsh club and his national team, will bring all his experience to Dijon. Closing in Libreville of the training workshop on international investment treaties and agreements, the objective of which was to build the capacities of managers of various administrations involved in this field. The internationally renowned American star Samuel Leroy Jackson is in Gabon. He was welcomed by the Gabonese Minister of Environment. This is a first visit for the actor, who decided to return to his Gabonese and African origins. Prior to the country's Independence Day celebration at 59, Benin is yet to organize the Independence Fair scheduled for this Tuesday, July 23rd, by the Minister of Industry and Trade, Serge Ahioussou, at Friendship Stadium named after General Mathieu Kérékou in Cotonou. that's the end of our newscast of the day, but keep watching Gabon 24 for further news.